It started with a school project that was supposed to be fun. We each tied a letter to a balloon and let it drift into the sky, hoping a stranger would find it and write back. Mine landed somewhere. Someone wrote back. And then they never stopped. I was 6. The letter said the finder liked my drawing. Said they were happy to be my friend. I felt special. Most kids never heard back. But I did. I had no idea that behind the paper and ink, something was watching me. Each letter was sweet at first. They asked what I liked to do, what toys I played with. I always answered. It felt harmless, safe. But then they started mentioning things they couldn't possibly know, like the color of my bedroom walls. One letter asked, "Do you still sleep with the bear in the blue pajamas?" I froze. I'd never written about my teddy. My parents thought I was just imaginative. It's probably a coincidence, they said, but I started to feel watched. All the time. I tried not to write back. I buried the letters under my socks. But more kept coming. One slipped under our front door. No stamp. No envelope. Just paper with shaky handwriting. "I liked seeing you at the park yesterday. That red hoodie looks good on you." That night, I barely slept. I told my mom. She laughed nervously, said it must be one of the neighbor kids. But I knew better. The handwriting was wrong. The tone was wrong. Whoever this was, they were older, and they knew where I lived. Then came the photo, folded into a letter, slipped into my backpack at school. It was a picture of me asleep, taken through my window. I never opened my blinds again after that, but I didn't know it was already too late. After the photo, I begged my mom to move. She thought I was overreacting, said kids play tricks. But how could a kid sneak into my backyard, climb onto the shed, and angle a camera through a second-story window without being seen? I started checking every lock twice. I stopped going out unless someone was with me. But still, the letters came. One was taped to my bike's handlebars. Another stuffed into my shoe during gym. Whoever it was, they were close. Closer than anyone realized. One night, I woke up to the sound of breathing. Not mine. It was soft, shallow, coming from the dark corner of my room. I held my breath, too scared to move. I whispered, "Mom," but no one answered. And then the breathing stopped. I turned on my bedside lamp. The room was empty. But the next morning, there was a letter on my floor. It read, "You're even quieter than I imagined." I sat for hours. "You looked peaceful." I vomited in the bathroom before school. I stopped sleeping properly. I'd lie awake for hours, clutching a baseball bat. Sometimes I'd hear footsteps just outside my room. I told my teacher I wasn't feeling safe. A counselor talked to me. Nothing changed. I stopped talking about it. No one listened. Then the final letter came, folded in half, left inside my math book. "It's time we meet properly. You'll know me when you see me." I'll wave. That was it. I showed it to my mom. Her face turned pale. She finally called the police. They searched our house, checked the yard. Nothing. They said it was likely a sick prank. But I noticed one thing missing. The old tree house in the woods behind our house. It had always been abandoned, but someone had cleaned it. Recently. The cops dismissed it as kids messing around. But I knew. The treehouse had a new rope ladder, a blanket, empty food wrappers, and something carved into the wood. My name, over and over, etched deep into the boards like a mantra, like obsession. I stopped going outside. My curtains stayed shut. I slept with the lights on. Every creak in the house made my skin crawl. But the worst part? I couldn't tell when it started. When I became the center of someone's sick universe. I thought back to the balloon project. Who would have found it? Why me? Was it random? Or was I chosen? The more I thought, the more I realized maybe he didn't find my letter. Maybe he already knew me. Maybe the letter was bait. Weeks passed. No new letters. Just silence. I almost felt relief until I found something tucked into my pillowcase. A drawing. A stick figure version of me. And another taller figure holding my hand. Underneath, a shaky scrawl. Soon. I broke down. My mom demanded answers from the school, the police. But there were no fingerprints, no suspects, no clues. Just me, and a shadow that wouldn't let go. I started to wonder if it would ever stop, or if I'd have to disappear to escape it. I tried burning the letters, ripping them up, throwing them into the river. But more always came. Like he had endless copies. Like he wanted me to know I could never erase him. That I was his. That I always had been. One night, I heard footsteps on the roof. Slow, heavy, then tapping on the window. Tap, tap, tap. I screamed. My mom rushed in, but no one was there. Just a fresh letter taped to the glass on the inside. That was the night we moved. No warning, no packing. My mom grabbed me, keys, and we drove until sunrise. We didn't tell anyone where we went. New town, new school, new locks. But the fear? That came with us, like it was stitched to my skin. I started to feel safe again, just a little. The house was small but quiet. No creaks, no shadows in corners. I almost let myself believe it was over. Until I got mail, addressed to me. No return name, just one word inside. Found you. I dropped the letter like it was acid. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. My mom thought it was a coincidence. But how many coincidences do you need before you stop denying what's real? Someone had followed us, and they wanted me to know it. I tried to act normal, went to school, pretended to sleep, but I kept checking behind me, always listening. That's when I started seeing the man, always in the distance, always still, sometimes near the school gate, sometimes at the edge of the woods. He never moved, never approached, just watched. Long black coat, hands in pockets, face hidden by the brim of a hat. I told the principal. He said no one fitting that description was ever seen. Said maybe I was dreaming. I wasn't. Then one day I came home and found my room rearranged. Nothing stolen, nothing broken, just different. My pillows swapped, drawers opened, my teddy bear sitting in the center of the bed, facing the door, and tucked into its arms, another letter. It said, "Your new house is nice, but I like the old one more. You smiled more back then." That's when I realized he wasn't just watching. He missed me, like I was some pet that had run away. And now, he was coming to collect. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in the corner with a knife and waited. Every sound became a threat. Every shadow felt like him. I thought if I stayed awake, I'd be safe. But I must have blinked, because when I opened my eyes, the knife was gone. In its place was a note, resting in my lap. "Don't worry. I'd never hurt you. Not like they would." I didn't know what that meant. Who was they? My mom? The police? Teachers? Or was he trying to make me believe he was the only one I could trust? I started questioning everything. Was I crazy? Imagining it all? But the notes were real. The photos were real. And now, he was leaving things in my hands while I slept. He had been that close, inches from my face, and I never felt a thing. I told my mom we needed to leave again, but this time she didn't believe me. She was tired, broke, done running. She thought I was making it up, maybe for attention, maybe from trauma, but the real horror was that no one believed me. Not anymore. So I stopped talking, started preparing. I blocked my window with furniture, slept in the closet, kept scissors under my pillow. I counted every footprint outside, tracked every sound. But still, he stayed one step ahead, always just out of sight, always watching. Then, one afternoon, my mom didn't come home. No note, no call. Hours passed. I started to panic. I searched the house, called her phone. Nothing. But there was a letter taped to the fridge. "She's with me now. You'll see her again. Be ready." I screamed until my throat was raw. I called the cops. They searched for days. No trace. Her purse still here. Car still in the driveway. But she was gone. And I knew this was always the plan. Not just to take me, but to take everything I loved first. I was put in foster care. Nobody believed my story. They said my mom probably ran off, couldn't handle the stress. But I knew better. Every night, I'd sit by the window, staring into the dark, waiting for him to wave. Because he said he would. He never did. But letters still came. Slipped into my books, into my backpack, one even inside a cereal box. "It's not time yet," he wrote once. "You still have growing to do." I was 13 now. I think he was waiting for something. Some twisted milestone. I became numb. Fear wasn't sharp anymore. It was a constant hum. The world lost color. I stopped talking. I stopped hoping. I knew he was out there, just waiting for the right moment. And somehow, I think he wanted me to accept it, to welcome it. Then one night, a knock. Soft, measured. I was alone. The family I stayed with was out. I didn't move, didn't breathe. Then a voice, calm and low. "I've always loved how quiet you are." I ran to the bathroom and locked the door, heart about to explode. I stayed in there all night. When I finally came out, everything was untouched. No signs of a break-in. No footprints. Just a single sheet of paper on my bed. A photo of my mom, eyes closed sleeping. Or pretending to. The back read, "She's waiting too." I cried for the first time in months. Not from fear, but from exhaustion. I couldn't do it anymore. But giving up felt like giving him what he wanted. And that terrified me even more. He didn't want to kill me. He wanted to own me. I started planning something I never thought I would. I saved money. Waited until I turned 16. I ran. No note. No goodbye. Just vanished into a city he'd never expect. I changed my name. Dyed my hair. Became someone else. But even now, he still finds me. I moved constantly. Never stayed in one place too long. No friends. No patterns. Just work and sleep. But every time I let my guard down, even for a second, he reminded me he was near. A letter on a mirror. A photo in my coat pocket. One night, I found a voicemail on a burner phone I never gave out. A whisper. Red hoodie. Bus stop. Wednesday. My blood ran cold. I hadn't worn that hoodie in years. I threw it away long ago. How did he still know? Another time, I rented a room under a fake name. Next morning, the doorknob was wrapped in twine, exactly like the balloon string I used in first grade. I collapsed, shaking, crying. He wasn't chasing me. He was guiding me, hurting me somewhere I didn't understand. I stopped running. I started recording everything. Notes, times, photos. I mapped where each letter appeared. No pattern, just chaos. But sometimes, I caught glimpses in crowds. A coat, a hat, a stillness that didn't belong. Every time I turned, he was gone. I began writing to him, leaving messages in public, like a sick game. "What do you want?" I asked once. A reply came scrawled on a diner napkin I never touched. "You already know." I didn't. I don't. And I'm terrified of the day I finally do. Then I met someone. Her name was Kara. She made me laugh, made me feel human again. I tried to keep her out of it. But one night she got a letter too. No envelope. Just 2 words. "He's mine." I moved the same night. Never saw her again. I don't dream anymore. Not really. Just flashes of trees. Rope ladders. A hand reaching out. Sometimes I wake up with a word on my tongue, like a name I'm trying to forget. But it won't go. Because deep down, I think he's still waiting. For the final step. Last night, I saw him. Not a shadow. Not a dream. He stood across the street, motionless, staring at my window. No coat this time. Just jeans and a smile. Like he was proud. Like he was finally ready to end what he started years ago, with a balloon. I backed away, shaking. Turned every light on. Called no one. Because who could I call? He was real, but not in a way police could catch. He was a ghost sewn into my life, into my silence, into the choices I made without even knowing they were his. I packed my bag. Again. But this time, something changed. There was already a second toothbrush in my bag. A shirt I didn't own. Things I never packed. Things he brought. I dropped it all. I knew what it meant. I wasn't running alone anymore. He left a note on my door before I opened it. Just 2 words. "It's time." Time for what? I don't know. Maybe for me to come with him. Maybe to finally disappear. Or maybe, just maybe, to take my place beside him. Like he always wanted. There are nights I wonder if he's just me. A version I buried so deep, he had to write his way back to me. Maybe the notes were never from a stranger. Maybe they were warnings. From the part of me that never stopped watching from the trees. I'm writing this in case it happens tonight. In case this is the last time anyone hears from me. If I vanish, don't believe the reports. Don't say I ran away. Know that he took me. Or maybe I walked away willingly. Either way, it ends tonight. The lights just flickered. I hear footsteps again, but I'm not hiding anymore. I'm walking toward the sound. If I see him, I'll wave first. If you've heard something like this too, leave a comment. I need to know I'm not alone.